Shalom Aleichem, it's Yaakov Shepherd here from King David's Tomb, KingDavidKabbalah.com, and we are in our series of Reincarnation 101. We got to Zohar Mishpatim, which is the big source of the gate, Shara Gilgulim, the gate of the reincarnation. And the Arizal wrote, it's based on the article, big article of the Zohar that we're going to start today. It's going to take us a few weeks probably, but anyhow, this is very, very fundamental understandings within the knowledge that we have, the wisdom that have been revealed to us through those sages, Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, the Arizal, and other Mekubalim. It's based on this article, and I want to dedicate this shiur to the Ilui Neshama of Yehuda Tzvi Ben Chaim, with the rest of the souls that needs elevation among Am Yisrael with the help of Hashem. And I want to encourage whoever feels that he needs a blessing for himself, for his family, who wants to have something special dedicated for the memory of his beloved ones, to help us and sponsor this podcast and other projects that we have. And that's what gives us the possibility to keep growing and to facilitate all of those wonderful things that we are doing for you. So please help us, stay with us, and it's going to be great. So the beginning of the Zohar Mishpatim is telling us explicitly, Ilin Sidurin de Gilgula. This is the order of reincarnation. And what is it about? Says Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, Dinin de Nishmatin, the laws of the souls. Idanu kol chad v'chad lekabel, each one of them is receiving his punishment. And then we are going into the psukim of Parashat Mishpatim about the concept of Eved Ivri, the Jewish slave. So I'll just give like tiny bit of background knowledge of the pshat, so whoever doesn't have that knowledge will be with us. The Jewish slave concept is basically happens when someone, God forbid, stole. He was caught as a thief and he doesn't have money to pay back. So then the Beit Din, the Torah court, is selling him as a slave to work 6 years, and then in the 7th year is finishing his slavery, is going out of his slavery. Okay, and that's what the pasuk that the Zohar brings. If you buy a Jewish slave, so what's going to happen? He's going to work for you 6 years, and then in the 7th he's going to go out free. He doesn't need to buy himself from his master. He paid his debt and he's going away. So, as always, the Kabbalah is taking the concept that we understand in the pshat level, in the simple term, and we are upgrading our understanding to use that the simple understanding to grasp a more spiritual, abstract concept that Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai is telling us. What is the concept here? Says the Zohar that the concept of Eved Ivri, it means that soul that had to go through reincarnation. Okay? So some souls are connected to a certain angel, very famous angel. Probably it's the most famous angel of all of the angels. As far as I understand, unfortunately, like many other good things, some people made it to be an idol worship, took the whole thing out of its context. But okay, that's a whole different discussion. This angel is called Matat. All the Mekubalim are calling him just Matat, but that's only half of his name. The other half is Ron. Okay, so figure out yourself. According to the Arizal, we don't say the names of angels, besides of those that people are called in those names. So the souls that are coming to this world and they somehow go through this channel of this angel that is Matat. Matat is actually a slave. That's what the Zohar here is telling us. Matat is a slave. So then they are becoming to be a slave. But we're not talking about physical slave that the pshat, simple understanding of the Torah is talking about. We're talking about the spiritual concept of a slave, which is a neshama that is somehow captured into certain flow, certain process, cannot break out from that process that it needs to take. And that means to go through Shitzitrin. The Zohar is calling that Shitzitrin. What is Shitzitrin? It means literally 6 sides. Okay, so the simple understanding of the 6 sides that the Zohar is talking about is like we shake the lulav, right? We shake it to the 4 winds of the world, up and down, so that's 6 directions. So basically, those 6 directions are defining any space, right? Any space that there is always defined with those 6 dimensions. Now, we're not trying to define space, we're just trying to say that the whole creation is a space, and the world as we know it is a space, and these 6 sides of that space are manifestation symbolizing the 6 sfirot. And those are the 6 years of that soul that needs to be reincarnated until it will break free in the 7th year. Now, how is that taking place? Says the Zohar. Goes through 6 years of reincarnation, and it's not talking about physical 6 years as we know it in this world. It's talking about a conceptual 6 years. And what does it mean? Says the Zohar, until that soul will complete 6 levels. In other words, to break out from that realm of the 6th and to get to the 7th, we need to go through a spiritual elevation. Okay? So, a soul that is coming from that aspect of a slave, which is basically all of us, besides of very, very exception souls, we are all part of that realm, and we need to go through a process that is called tikkun, rectification, that is taking time, is taking few lifetimes, and every lifetime, hopefully, we're doing good, and we are progressing, and we are moving from one level to another until we reach that level of the 7th year, and then that's the freedom. Now, what is the other kinds of souls besides of those souls that are coming from that side of slavery? Says the Zohar. If that soul is coming from that level of the Shekhinah, so we see that if it belongs to the 7th Sfira, which is the Malchut, right after the 6th, we have the 6th, which is Chesed, Gvura, Tiferet, Netzach, Hod, Yisod, and then we have the 7th, Malchut. The Malchut is the Shekhinah, and if the soul is connected with the Shekhinah, with the Malchut, so then it can go out free. What does it mean to go out free? Says the Zohar, Tzaddik. What is Tzaddik? Tzaddik is connected to the Yesod. So the connection of the Malchut to the Yesod is called breaking free, for that matter. Now, what is the result of that? The Zohar says that a soul like that doesn't have to work. Doesn't have to work. What does it mean doesn't have to work? It means that person is coming, that is like already fixed. He doesn't need to fix himself. He doesn't need to go through a process of tikkun because he's already there. He's done. And these are the tzaddikim, the big righteous people that we are following their footsteps, right? Like we are doing now in this shiur. That's what we're doing. Hopefully, we are learning from the wisdom of those sages that they came to the world to reveal this wisdom. And by us learning their wisdom, we are the completion of the purpose of them coming to this world, in a way. And this is the way for us to walk our way up to get to our freedom with the help of Hashem. So, now in that point in the Zohar comes Saba. What is Saba? Literally, in Hebrew, Saba, it means grandfather. And there's a tradition that in the Zohar, when it says Saba, it means usually a soul of one of the righteous people. We know that Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, he had this ability to communicate with all of the souls of all of the righteous people. And every time he had a soul coming to discuss with him those secrets of the Torah and to be part of his work, writing the Zohar, the revelation of the wisdom of the Zohar. So that soul is coming to Rabbi Shimon in that point says, "Ma tosefet lenishmata de'imina." What those souls that are connected to the Shekhinah, that are connected to the Malchut, that are not a part of the slavery, what do they gain when they come to this world? It seems that it's not about work. That's the Zohar. לא תעשה כל מלאכה, אתה ובנך ובתך ועבדך. Right? About Shabbat, Shabbos, Kodesh, it says that you should not work. So someone that is connected to the Shekhinah, is connected to the Malchut, is connected to Shabbos, he does need to work. He's not in that frame. So then Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai replies to that Saba, to that soul. And he says, for sure, we're talking about the soul of someone that is a complete righteous person. And it could be that that righteous person is needed to come to this world reincarnated, and he can come even as a slave, even as a maidservant, that are connected to a certain lower level of angels, and still he will have like a bubble of freedom within this world while he's here. And that's a very, very interesting concept, that some people are coming to this world and they don't need to work so hard. Hashem is bringing to them basically what they need, and they are here to fulfill a certain function. So basically, that function is to teach Torah. Bezrat Hashem. So it says that a righteous person like that comes to this world to teach Torah, so then you should not work him as a slave. You should not work as a slave. Okay? The work of a slave is connected to the weekday. The righteous person is connected to Shabbos. So what is that concept of Shabbos? We're going to discuss that, Bezrat Hashem, more, but for now, the point that I want to get to for this shiur, this class today, it says that the Shabbos is called Bat Yechida, the single daughter. What does it mean, single daughter? So basically, we look on the six Sfirot, Chesed, Gvura, Tiferet, Netzach, Hod, Yesod, as masculine aspect, okay? And the Malchut as a feminine aspect. So as if there is like 6 boys and a girl within that family of the Sfirot. And if you look in the same way on the days of the week, so we have that parallel, right? So we have those days, right? Rishon, Sheni, Shlishi, Revi, Chamishi, Shishi, right? 6 days of the week. And we get to Shabbos, which is the 7th day. So each one of the 6 have a partner, right? We have Yom Rishon, have the Yom Sheni, right? The Chesed, have the Gvura, okay? The question about like what's next. If you go from the Tiferet, you go to the Netzach, and then the Hod for the Yesod, or that the Tiferet is connected to the Yesod because both of them are in the middle line, and you have the Chesed and the Netzach and the Hod in the right and left. Anyhow, that's a side point to go in depth, but we'll keep that for another time. Bli neder. The point is that the Shabbat is single, doesn't have a match. Okay. So what is the match of the Malchut? When you take all of the 6 Sfirot and you put them together as a masculine aspect, so then the feminine aspect will be the Malchut. Okay, there's a lot to explain about it, but I want to stay focused on the whole concept of reincarnation and the journey of the souls. So there is a soul that is connected to the Malchut, and it also have that taste of slavery that is called Ama. Ama Ivriya in the Torah is like a girl that needs to be sold as a maid servant because she doesn't have in the simple level of the understanding of the Torah, the Pshat. So if the parents doesn't have enough money to sustain the girl, so they can sell her to someone that is wealthy, that she will serve in his house, and hopefully he will like her and he will marry her with his son or something like that, and then she will go out of that boundaries of the poverty that she had in her house. Going back to the spiritual concept, what will be the concept that fits to the Ama Ivriya, the Jewish maidservant? So this is the slavery side of the feminine aspect, right? And that is also symbolizing that soul comes down from its level, meaning all of the souls are coming from a place of freedom, okay? The Sfira of Binah that is above those 7 Sfirot. The Binah is called freedom, and that's, we'll see further on in the Zohar, that's the concept of Yovel, the leap year, that all the slaves are going out from their slavery into freedom. So when we are doing a real tshuva, when we are completing our tikkun, so we can reach the Sfira of Binah, which is the freedom. But until that point, there is a certain part of slavery which is working on our tikkun, and that's basically mostly within the masculine side, right? Sometimes it can also affect the feminine side. And we're going to speak about those different possibilities later on within those classes. We just started the Zohar Mishpatim today. We'll hold it here for today to be continued with the help of Hashem. And I'll just finish that the secret that I want to finish with is that, like we said, that there is a slave, right, that is angel Matat. We have here in the Zohar also the connection to the angel Gabriel. Gabriel, we can say his name because there is people that are called in this name. And that is called Ish. Okay? It says Ish Gavriel. It says in Daniel, the book of Daniel, chapter 9. And Gavriel he has a certain part within that process of elevation. Why? The Zohar doesn't say over here, but I'll give you my own personal understanding and we'll finish with that. That Gavriel is symbolizing, is presenting the Sphira of Gvura, right? Gavriel, Gvura, the left side. And we say, Ezeu Gibor HaKovesh et Yitzro, who is the real hero, that he have the mightiness, the strength. The Gvura is the person that is conquering his lust and desires. So as much as we are strong to conquer our desires and to fight against all of the evil character traits that we have and make ourselves to be more suitable, to be uplifted, that is the level that we reach tikkun. And according to that, that will be the freedom that we are gaining in this world. I'll leave you with that. Think about it. There's a lot to think about what we just discussed, with the help of Hashem, to be continued next week. Many, many blessings. And I want to finish with encouraging you again to go to our website and help us by taking advantage of all what we made for you over there. So, KingDavidKabbalah.com. Thank you very much. Many, many blessings. Shabbat Shalom V'Vorach.